Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Yes, welcome. It's June 9, 2024, and stay tuned for a action-packed, product-packed, Hongdian-inspired recap. So welcome back, folks. Yes, indeed. Some great news. I think great news, some nice trends, some nice products. We've gotten more at the doorstep. My wife was wondering why all these packages are coming in, but they're coming in slowly but surely. I got some great news from Hongdian. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, if you've seen, but there's a couple of things that I want to report to you. In any event, let's, without any further ado, let's look at some product news. Be right back. So let's look at pens. What have we got for pens? Well, on the Chinese pen front, of course, you've seen, hopefully you've seen, if not, please take a look at my review of the Jinao 1935 Qiandao, and a lot of comments, some controversy, some people like it, some people don't. I want to get back to this 1935, so we'll stay tuned for that a little bit later on. I think in my commentary or my feedback, viewer feedback, I've got some additional comments I'd like to make, so stay tuned for that. Now, what else have we got on the Jinhao, on the Chinese pen front? Well, let's go right away to my my computer, and here, we'll cut there. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Hongdian D5S. I said S. What is this S all about? We've seen this pen, but it says converter fountain pen. So, and they offer different nibs. Not only do they offer the extra fine and fine nib that comes with the the D5 chin pen, but there's long blades and there's long knives that you can choose with that pen now. And if you go further down in the description, they say, note, this is not piston fountain pen, just with converter rotate for inking. So I guess they've come out with the D5, but with a converter instead of a piston. And I got to tell you, sometimes converters are just so more convenient. So I've ordered one. I think I've ordered this black one. It should be on its way. We'll take a look at it and see what differences it has with the piston. So that's the first thing that I wanted to point out. The second one is, I don't know if you guys caught this, but there's the Hongdian A9 that's coming. It's been ordered, should be here any second. Fountain pen with a large number 8 nib with an ebonite feed. Look at those patterns. I've ordered the blue. I'm tempted to order the green and the brown, but you know what? I'm going to wait for the blue before I order anything else, just in case it's a real disaster and I don't like it. But there you have it. It's the Hongdian A9. Finally, Hongdian has woken up. The sleeping bear has woken up. Excellent, excellent news. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I'm very excited about those two Hongdian pens. It's been a while since they've come up with anything, and it looks like we've got two new products to take a look at sometime very soon. We'll see. Will I get it on the Sunday that I publish this video, or will I get it next week? I suspect I'm going to get it early next week. But again, folks, I will interrupt all my regular programming to put out that review of that pen. So there you have it. And you'll notice additional reviews on the Jinao that are out, the 1935. So take a look at those. Always very, very informative. Teresa Harris just put one out, and Plume has put one as well. And we'll get back to some of his comments in just a little while, because I think they're worthwhile mentioning. Now, what else have we got for you? Well, let's go back to my computer. First of all, we've got the Safari has come out with this, I guess it's a summer special edition Safari, which is the Cherry Blossom, this one here, or the Pina Colada. Personally, I don't like these pens. I can tell you right now, I love color, but I mean, it's getting carried away. You know what, a Safari is a Safari is a Safari. But look, for any folks, they're very popular, so I must be in the minority and not the majority, needless to say. Next thing I wanted to mention very quickly is that if you're interested in getting and been wondering about the Delta Duna pen, I recommend it. First of all, I've reviewed it. Check out my review of a similar model. But they've now come up with this black model, which frankly, had it been available from the very beginning, I would have chosen that one. I don't believe it was. I've got kind of a green resined barrel, sort of a model. But so those of you thinking about the Delta Duna, there you have it in a nice black classic model. Next, Visconti's come up with some new affordable pens at $191 American. It's the Visconti Commedia Inferno fountain pen. It's inspired by Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. So there you have it, 3 pens. I might actually order one of those. Stay tuned. If I do, if and when, they will, of course, be shared with you. Rest assured for that. So that's on the pen front. I think the pens that I wanted to outline or highlight for you. The next thing that I want to look at is, what have I got for ink? Well, ink news. First of all, let me just shift back to the computer. Of course, you got the Van Diemen's Encore collection. I've reviewed 2 inks. I'm going to be reviewing 2 more in this episode. But beautiful site, gives you all the swatches. Take a look at that. Very, very nice inks. From Van Diemen's. If they are all sold out as they appear here, check out Pen Chalet. Pen Chalet's got them. Next, Sailor Manu. This is Wonder Pens, a Canadian site, but you can find them in most retailers who've got it. I think I've mentioned it before. It's the Sailor Manu 5th anniversary collection. There are 4 inks. I've ordered 3, so I think I've ordered the red one. No, this one here, the sunset, the blue, and the purple. I thought there was a green in there, but I guess there isn't. There should be coming soon. As soon as I get them, they will form part of my next recap, or perhaps a separate review. What else have I got for you? Oh, yes. I do want to mention that there is Gold Spot's got them. You'll recall that this is the Dieman Inkvent 2023 collection, where they come out all at once in all smaller bottles. This one, now it's available. They refer to it as the Dieman Inkvent Purple Edition, but you get the standard bottles, the 50 milliliter bottles, the bigger ones, so you can pick and choose which ink you like and order them. This is an idea. This gives you an idea of all the pens that are, all the inks that are available. As you can see, there's quite a choice. Gold Spot's got them all. So take a look at Gold Spot. If there's any of these ink that interest you, you need not order the entire collection, and you want bigger sized bottles, well, there you have it. Pick and choose, and you can order from Gold Spot. Absolutely great place to order. our products from. Paper product, what have we got? Well, I mentioned to you this dominant industry, the ink archiving book, A Log of Atlantis. Well, it's here, folks. Stay tuned. That archiving ink book, I've got it. Stay tuned. Form part of my later on in this recap. We'll take a look at it. I've done some swatching on it, and I'll give you my first impressions, first thoughts in just a few minutes. So I think that's it for products in the news. So I think we should, without any further ado, stay tuned for my pen and ink call. Be right back. Okay, so we're back with some product hauls here that I can show you, some new pens that I got and some new inks that we would like to swatch. I think I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to go with the ink swatching and the ink haul first so that I could show you the inks first, and then we could use those inks in some of the pens that I have to show you. How's that? Good? So let's go to my overhead camera. And here are, of course, the 4 inks that I mentioned to you last week. Last week we swatched and reviewed Barber of Seville and Standing Ovation, beautiful reddish or red purplish ink and a bluish ink, if you will. So those are the 2 we reviewed. Take a look at my last week's recap if you're interested in those 2 colors. Or, of course, visit the Van Dieman site, because they have beautiful swatches on their site that you can tell how the colors will be. This week we will review Crescendo, which looks like a reddish tint ink, and Avant-Garde, which looks like is more on the green side with some sheen. Again, these are just standard or sheening inks as opposed, or shading, but not shimmer. I'm trying to stay away as much as possible from shimmer inks. They're just causing too many problems for my pens. So there you have the 2 inks. So why don't we do some swatching first? Now, what I propose, and I think I'm going to do this from episode to episode, is that I have a bunch of notebooks, paper, and I keep doing my reviews with the same Tomoyo River notebooks because it's my favorite, and also because I sense that I want to be consistent. But on the other hand, I'd like to be able to show you how different notebooks react or perform. And so, we can take a look at the pen, we can take a look at the ink, and we can take a look at the notebook as well. So from now on, unless somebody has some major objections, I'm going to start taking notebooks from my collection, and we'll work with those notebooks, and it gives me the opportunity to show you different products. And by the way, all those products have already been reviewed in my 2 guides to fountain pen therapy, notebooks or paper. Check those out. They're long, there's timestamps, you're interested in any. I'm trying to cover them all. As I get new products, I add to my list. So there you have it. And maybe at the end of the year, I'll do another comprehensive part 3 of anything that I've added during the year. That way we keep track of the products. Okay? So first thing, let's take a look at the paper that we're going to swatch with. Okay? And here's what I propose. I remember last week, some people asked me questions about the pad that I was using. I was using this bank paper last week, and we did some ink sampling with that, or maybe on my review. Actually, it was probably my 1935 review. Well, these 3 pads all come from Etsy. We got one. It's Yamamoto. They're all Yamamoto produced notebooks. This one is bank paper. This one is Cosmo Airlight, and this one is Sanson Tomo River. So what I propose is that we swatch the 2 inks on each of these different paper, and that will give us an idea of how these inks react, if you will, on different paper. Okay, so that's that. Just get the inks and bring them closer. We'll start first with the crescendo, which should be a red ink. Yes, it is. Isn't that a beautiful bottle, by the way? Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a standard red ink. We'll open it up. And we'll get my folded pen, by the way, Toronto Pen Company. That's where I get these folded pens. I know some of you asked. I like to swatch with this as opposed to Q-tips or even paintbrushes. Okay, so let's do, this is the bank paper. That's one. This is Cosmo Airlight. And this is Tomoe River. Here we have the swatches. And now we'll just do, write that out. So this is the Van Dieman's Encore collection. And is, what is it again? Crescendo, is it? Yeah. So on this bank paper, very smooth. Very, 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 very smooth. This is Cosmo Air Light. Yeah, I can definitely feel some resistance on this paper, but you could see the shading and the sheening appears much quicker here. Then let's see Tomoe River. Yeah, both the Tomoe River and Cosmo Air Light have some tooth or more tooth than the bank paper. The bank paper is absolutely, I got to tell you, smooth as silk. So there you have it. So that's the first ink. Let's do the second one. That's Crescendo. And where is the other? Here it is. The second one is Avant-Garde, and it looks like it's a green-based ink. So once again, let me just get my folded nib pen. We will open up the bottle. So here is Avant-Garde on bank paper. Here it is on the Cosmo Air Light. And here it is on the Tomoe River. Let's write some words. So this is Van Dieman's. Wow, it's so smooth. Encore collection. And this is avant-garde. Do the same here. You can feel the tooth right away of the paper. What a difference. But you can see the contrast in the colors much quicker. Collection, avant-garde. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the three inks. We've swatched the inks, and Vince has again made a mess. I don't know how I do this each and every time, but I'm not very good at this. I must be doing something wrong, obviously. Those are the three papers. What we'll do is we'll take the time for them to dry, and then we'll show you what the results are a little bit more closely. Okay? We'll be right back. Okay, I just want to show you the swatches of those two inks on the different paper. I've allowed the paper or the ink to dry up. This is the bank paper. Again, just to remind you, this is the Cosmo Air Light. 1 second, I just want to, no, I'm sorry. This is the bank tape paper, this is the Tomoe River paper, and this is the Cosmo Air Light. As you could see, I think the most contrast is with the Tomoe River. So this kind of proves the rule. Second comes Cosmo Air Light. You can see some of the gold sheen. It's very pronounced here. You can definitely see the red sheen here. But the most effect, I think, is in the Tomoe River, as one would expect. And the bank paper, although very smooth, has the least in terms of sheen come through. In terms of, let's just look at if it goes through the other side. Let's see what the results are, and if we could just descend all three notebooks, you can see quite the opposite. The bank paper reacts very well with the writing. There's almost no see-through, certainly no feathering, and no dripping on the other side. Yes, the big blobs you could see, but that's to expected. Tomoe River is also very good, I think. And Cosmo Air Light, just a little bit of feathering there, or a little bit of see-through on the green. It could also be a function of the amount of ink on the nib. But there you have it. So those are the three inks. I think the three excellent inks. Very nice, both writing and in swatching. So all three, I think, are very, very, very much in the scheme of things. So there you have it. Those are the inks. Okay, for the penal, I've got three pens for you this week. That, of course, we have the 1935, which we'll get back to in a few minutes. That was reviewed early this week, and that I received Sunday just after I had published my recap. I got the Mayora Aventus, and there's another important thing about this pen that I want to show you in a few minutes. So that's the Aventus. It's a beautiful resin pen, by the way, and I've put in a very special nib that we'll take a look at in a second. It's a cartridge converter pen, but talk about thick resin. You know, this is what Neapolitan Italian pens should be all about. And Mayora, thickness of that, Mayora never disappoints, I've got to tell you. Originally, the nib that came with this is a kind of a darker matte rhodium, I think it is, a nib or plated nib. I changed it just for this review to this new Mayora nib because I want to show it to you in a little more detail in a few seconds. So there is my Aventus. Then I picked up this little pen. I was curious about it. It's the Endless, what do they call it? The Endless Captiva fountain pen. It's a new fountain pen by Endless with a novel torque filler, and we'll show you that in a second, with some nice black resin. Very nice finial there as well. Little light. I was expecting it to be a little more substantive, but it's, as you can see, it's got this, I don't know if you could see the, yeah, this, see that converter, how it's torque converter from the outside so that you don't have to remove the barrel, which I find it could be a good thing. So you don't, put any stress on those threads, And there you have it. And I think if you do want, however, you can remove the barrel to expose that torque mechanism on the Schmidt converter. So there you have it. It's got a, did I order this in fine or medium or maybe even broad? I forget now. But we'll do a writing sample. I'll link these pens up, do an ink sampling in just a few seconds, and we'll let you know what size nib I purchased. I just noticed they don't line up. This doesn't line up with that. Do you have to kind of play around with it? I'm not sure, but it's but a pen like this cost me $75 plus $30 of handling, and I mean, and then you compare it to some of the Chinese pens and you say, well, why do you favor Chinese pens? Well, this thing is so light. We'll see how it writes. Yeah, it's got this, torque filler, but I got to tell you, it is so cheapy light. You know what I mean? But in any event, look, let's see how it writes, and maybe it'll surprise us. So be right back with the writing sample. Okay, so we're back with the writing sample. Of course, you've seen this one, which is the Jinal 1935. By the way, during a week, I might as well mention it now that I'm dealing with it, this nib dried up on me really quickly. I don't know why. And then I read in one of my commentaries that another viewer had a similar problem with those Jinao number 8 nibs. Very surprised, because I got to tell you, I've never had a problem with medium nibs, but I did have that one with this one. It's smooth and it hasn't been problematic since. I don't know what got caught up in it. Was it because I should have maybe flushed it better and there were some particles or something? I don't know what caused it to it just stopped writing. I had to kind of prime it. And then after I primed it a little bit, it's worked ever since. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that. The ink in this thing is Dieman oxblood, which is a great ink. I don't think, it's the ink that caused the problem. And of course, the nib is the Jinhao steel number 8 nib, and it's a medium. Okay, so that's the Jinhao. Second one is this Ventus, and the nib on that is a broad as well, and it's a Mayora. So this is the, wow, Mayora Aventus in the red. The ink is the Van Dieman's Encore. And this is the Crescendo that we just saw. Very nice red ink, must say. The nib is a steel, and it's the new branded Yowo nib, and it's a broad. And by the way, I did write to Nino Martino and I asked him whether or not this nib was an in-house nib or was it a Yowo nib, and what he mentioned to me. By the way, I do have some news. Looks like we're getting closer to that meeting and filming of his factory, Delta factory. So just stay tuned for that. Nino mentioned that this is a Yowo nib, but that's been branded, tested, and primed by Mayora. There you have that. So it is a Yowo manufactured nib. And on this endless torque filler, Captiva, it is, by the way, it does posts very comfortably, which is nice because if it's so light, you're better. I think it's better balanced when it's posted. So this is the Captiva. Whoop. That's not good. Let me prime it. Right off the bat. That's so the thing writes. Okay. Captiva. Okay, just need a little push. It's from Endless. And it's a torque filler. They have a few models in terms of colors. I think black, blue. This is the black model. The ink I'm using is the Van Dieman's Encore collection. And this is the Barber of Seville. The nib is a steel number 6 sized broad nib. I'm not sure whether it is a in-house nib or not, but when I review this pen I will let you know. But it appears to be a Bock, but I could be wrong. So there you have the 3 pens for this week. Now, if we talk about notebooks, let me show you that new notebook that I got, which is the ink archiving book. Very, very nice. From Dominant Industry. Here you have it. It presents, all kinds of drawing possibilities here with swatching as well. Let me show you what I'm far from being an artist here. I just wanted to splash some ink in a very random way. But I think as somebody that has any artistic flair can have a lot of fun with this. You could check out all your inks here and then swatch them and put the names. So this is, I think, more of a pastime. You take a bunch of inks, you take 10 inks, put them on a big tray, go out on your porch and have some fun with it, especially if you're artistically inclined. I think you can have a lot of fun with this. Now, is it fountain pen friendly? Well, look at the other side. There's all kinds of blobs here coming through. It's not the greatest paper in the world. It's just high GSM paper, but it's far from being Tomoe River or anything like that, which is unfortunate because, as you could see, it goes right through and it kind of ruins that page. So there you have it. But it's something to consider if you're artistically inclined, like to draw, like to color in, use different inks. Certainly an option. I won't be having as much fun as I thought I would with this, just because I realized the paper is not the greatest quality, which is too bad. I got to tell you, had they had some of that Japanese paper, we'd be in business. But there you have it. Anyway, I'll let you know how far I get with this, and how much patience I really have to kind of fill in all of this. But there is the dominant industry ink archiving book. If you are interested, there you have it. I hope that gives you at least a glimpse of what this notebook is all about. Not my favorite, but maybe some of you who are artistically inclined can see some really fun use for this notebook. There you have it. Okay, for the 4-pen resurrection, I got 4 pens for you folks, of course, but I got some. We talked about changing up a little bit the paper. Let me just adjust my volume here. Adjust the paper. Well, we're going to adjust the paper, so we're going to use a different notebook. Okay, so let's see what we have here. It's a Clairefontaine recycled paper, premium 90 GSM. So it's fun because it's recycled. I bought this on Amazon, and we shall use this paper. Just change it up, as I mentioned earlier, so that we get to use different type of paper. So here we go. Okay. Now, what are the 4 pens I got for you? Let me just close up here so we can get the ink samples right. The first one I got for you is this Narwhal. Now, I've been a little unfair to Narwhal lately. They're just not my favorite because of an incident, and I guess it stays in our mind. These are the original Narwhals, now known as Navlar. I have 4 of these. I have a green, a purple, a yellow, and a blue. This cap here on this piston, very fragile. My purple broke. I wrote to Narwhal. It broke like 3 days after I received it. So it really, it must have been something wrong there, because I usually do take care of my pens. And frankly, if I'm at fault, I wouldn't, reach out to them. I reached out to them about 4 times. Absolutely no answer. So no support, no guarantee, not even an answer, nothing. So Narwhal automatically fell on my blacklist. I think I bought 1 other pen from them, and I doubt very much that I will be convinced of buying another one unless I change my mind. For now, I haven't. And I haven't touched those pens since. In fact, the ink that's in this pen has been there since I originally bought it, which is years ago, I believe. The nibs weren't great either. I remember I had to deal with this nib for a long time before I got it right. So let's see how it writes, and we'll take it from there. I'm looking at it, and it's just a pity that I have not used these pens because they are nice pens. So this is the Narwhal original. Yellow, was it yellow tail or something like that? I forget now. The nib, like I said, I had to really play around with this nib, let me tell you. So the nib is a steel number 6. This looks like a medium. And it's a in-house Narwhal. So in all fairness to them, they do make their own nibs. The ink, no idea what it is. As I mentioned to you, it's been a while since I've written with this. But it's a dark charcoal, so dark brown ink, but I just can't for the life of me remember. But there you have it. I think it's probably a Robert Oster ink, but don't quote me on that. Okay, so that's the first one. And in all fairness to them, it is a nice pen. It is a nice pen, especially at the price they're selling at. The second one is I took out of an old purchase right at the beginning. It's of my collecting. It's a Quality Airmail, so an Indian pen. Quality Airmail. Forget the number. Blue. I think they come in different colors. The nib is very interesting. It's, again, an in-house nib. As you can see, it's got quality on it. I think it's a medium. Yeah, it's a medium. Kind of a funny size. I'm not sure if it's a 5. It's somewhere in between 5 and 6. So it's a steel quality. Let's say number 6, but it's slightly smaller, I would say. But I gotta tell you, very, very nice writing. And I haven't used this pen in ages, and it's just too bad. But it's going into my rotation, of course. The ink, this one is the Dieman. For lack of a better word, dark blue. It's not the turquoise. There you have it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Good shaped pen. Kind of plasticky resin, but, handsome pen and does the trick. What's next? I just don't know why I don't use this pen more often. This has got to be one of my favorite nibbed pens. It's the Esterbrook ST Oversize. So ST Oversize. The nib is I think it's a Yowo, and I think I know it's a Yowo branded Esterbrook, and it's 1.1 stub. Very, very smooth. As you can see, it's branded Esterbrook 1.1. Very nice. The ink. Again, I'm not sure what this ink is. It is I think I know what it is. Yeah. It's this Birds of a Feather. So it's Van Dieman's. And it's Laughing Kookaburra. No, double O. Tail. Very nice ink. There you have it. Beautiful pen. Just a beautiful. And it's got that spring here, so when you close it, it shuts tightly. Very nice. I just don't know why I haven't been using it, but there you go. It's like discovering a $300 pen. Beautiful. My fourth. Well, if we're in the Esterbrook mood, took out a vintage Esterbrook SJ. Beautiful pen. I'll tell you what I want to do with these. So this is, let me just cap this. Esterbrook. I don't know if there's enough ink in here, but and it's, I believe they call it the SJ. It's in red. The nib, I think they call it the 956, but I'm not sure. but it's an Esterbrook vintage. Yeah, I'm running out of ink, so I'm going to stop right there. I just never know how to fill these things, and when you do, there's not a lot of ink. It's just too bad. So what I thought I'd do, I love the nib. I remember the nib is really nice. What I'm going to do is, and I'm going to buy, apparently they sell these, and it's not as available as it used to be. I remember when these things came out originally. You can buy the adapter so that you can adapt to this pen these old nibs. And apparently Esterbrook in the 50s, 60s had like 20, 30, 40 different types nibs. I would try to order some flex nibs and then put it on this pen with the adapter and take it from there. So that's why I think I joined these two, just to let you know. Stay tuned. If I remember, but it's on my list of things that I want. That's exactly what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to use that adapter, and there you go. And we can get to use that pen with different nibs, and I think the adapter is like $40. Some of those nibs can get them on eBay, and there and you get a bunch of. It's like getting a bunch of new pens all of a sudden with a beautiful body like this one. I mean, why not? So that's, I guess it's just another way. And speaking about nibs, I did want to mention to you that I got a bunch of Osprey flex nibs. Take a look at this. This is a titanium flex nib. Is it a medium? Yeah, this is the medium. So this is the Osprey flex nib, and it's the medium. Really, really nice, I gotta tell you. It's titanium, so I don't want to polish it. It probably deserves a little polishing, but my feeling is that if I polish it, I might just ruin that free-flowing, but very nice. And at a very reasonable price. So you get the Milano. This is the Osprey Milano. It does come, the section usually is the same color as the pen, but you can buy the whole section. It comes with a converter, the nib, titanium nib, and a ebonite feed. And there you have a nice flex nib. In fact, I got to tell you that I got this one, and I got a Osprey flex nib, okay, with the titanium, this is not titanium, it's steel, with the ebonite feed. It's a fine with a Yowo unit, so it could fit it in this is my Ranga. So this is, again, a Osprey flex nib. Now, I'm not good at the flexing, but still very interesting. In fact, let me just show you a third one very quickly. Where is it? Do I have it? Yes, I do. I put it in this Noodlers. I think this is a Heya, or one of the smaller pens anyway. It's take a look at this nib. It's a broad Osprey flex nib. Now, it is set in there a little bit too much, so this may not be the perfect pen for it to be in, but this is and you get much less flex because it is a broad nib. Okay, so it's wide as it is, but very smooth, I gotta tell you. So this is the flex, and it's a broad. But there again, flex nibs, $20, $30. You put them in another pen, and it's just another writing experience. So there you have resurrection of 3 other pens with different nibs, if you will. I figured I added it in. That's just a bonus for you guys. Put it this way. That was completely improvised, unplanned, but there you have it. So that's my 4-pen resurrection, folks. So we're back with my last section of this recap. Again, question from one of the viewer was, how do you store your inks? How you store your pens? How you store your notebooks? Last week I dealt with how I storage of inks. This week I will talk about how how I store my pens. Now, when we talk about storage, we talk about temporary storage, which is carrying cases, how I carry my pens from home to work or from one floor to another or on vacation, etc. And the other one is permanent storage, if you will, of pens. Let's start with temporary storage or carrying cases. So let me go on to my overhead camera. First of all, I have this, which is kind of a soft, different style of carrying cases. It carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, you put your pens in, they're all, and then you just kind of turn it around, put the elastic around it. It's kind of soft, so it kind of in your suitcase, it kind of fits perhaps a little flatter. But I got to tell you, very rarely use this. I think I've used this thing more in my videos than I have in kind of any usage to speak of. But there you have it. Those are, and I think they come in different sizes. You can have depending on the number of pens that you want to carry. That's the first one. Then I have these 2 products, which are from Girologio. This is a 3-pen, and I think it comes in 2 pen or in 1 pen. It's got a magnetic closure, and this one is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 12-pen carrying case with a in-between. Very practical. The downside of these things is you got to make sure that your clip fits in at least the top part, or otherwise the whole pen gets in. But it can accommodate all kinds of sizes, which is the fun part about this one. I don't think I've had any pen that I've not been able to carry in this. And it's, as I mentioned, 12. Very nice zippering mechanism, not a problem. This thing's gotten beaten up, but it's still running strong. So there you have it. That's Girologio. Next is these products. These 3 I've purchased. You can buy them on Amazon or on Etsy. This one actually I got engraved. The fountain pen therapy is kind of inscribed on it. There you have it. The mechanism is you remove it and you have your pens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them back in. Magnet. Very, very secure. They come in different colors. I have a blue, as you can see here. Same thing. Blue, magnetic, brown. And then I have my big carrying case, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is kind of my 12 pen. Oftentimes, this is what I end up bringing to work when I have several pens that I want to use in my rotation. Otherwise, it's probably this blue one that gets some use. So there you have those. And then I have this Italian pens. Again, 3-pen section with a magnetic closure. I think I bought my Métis, Gioia Métis pen, and it came with this case, which is very nice. So that's Italian pens. And then, of course, I have my Esterbrook. They have different models now, but this is an older style model. There you have it. Very, very nice. Limited space in this one. I got to tell you, it's not as big as some of the others, but still, nonetheless, it is a little bit of a pain because you get a really big pen, then it kind of stuck in there because you're stuck with this there permanently. But that's very rare that you have a pen that's so big. It's nice because you can remove it very well protected. I've had this for years now, and hardly any sign of usage. So there you have my temporary storage, if you will. These are all the options that I have. There may be others, but these are the ones. These are the ones that I use. Give me a few seconds. We'll set up for the permanent storage. I'll show you how I store my pens. Okay, so for permanent storage, I'm going to show you the different models of pen cases that I have. And I have about 5 or 6 of these. These are 3 drawers, okay? They are top drawer that you can display. So for example, I have all my Jinaos here. That closes very nicely. Disadvantage of this is that your top, you can't pile them up because it opens there. Sometimes they're just drawers. And then it's followed by 2 drawers, as you can see here. So the drawers are really nice, very big. They can accommodate almost any size, not almost, any size pen. I've never had any pen be too big for these drawers, be it width-wise, width or length. So fits very nicely. And they're kind of leather covered, okay, with two nice drawers. So you can see, you can pull them out, and there are, these are all my Asvines, 2 drawers of Asvines. So there you have it. And I have about, I would say, well, what is it? I have them behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 of those. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 times 12, there's 36 pens in this one. Very nice. I found them on Amazon. I will try to put a link in the description. I bought them when they were, I think, on sale, so I took advantage of the sale. But they run anywhere between $50 and $60 Canadian. So there you have it. So this is the first model of pen cases. The second model I have for you is a similar pen case, if you will, except this one has the top, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers. Again, very nice. The top part opens up this way. A little bit, better finishing. It's got an actual metal drawing mechanism here as opposed to just a string. But the principle is the same thing. You could see that it has drawers, and then the drawers are very similar. Slightly smaller, I would say, in length, but as you can see, there's really no pen that wouldn't fit in here. So, and I got 5 drawers of this, as you could see. They're all very nicely. Now, because of the leather, sometimes, depending on the weather, it kind of expands on you a little bit, but there's nothing serious. So, very nice. So this is, I've got 2 of these. These I bought on Katawiki. They're about 80, 90 euros when I bought them. It's kind of an auction, Katawiki site, and I managed to snap them up for about 50, 60 euros, okay? Plus shipping to get it to your house. The next one apologize, this was a little heavier. Let me just show you what I've got here. This is a wooden kind of box with drawers, okay? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 drawers. And what I've done inside of each is and I'm going to give you links for all of this. You can buy these kind of, they're kind of cardboard. Let me show you how they function, and you can cut them out. They come in big, I would say about 2 feet by, or 18 inches by 18 inches. 1 second, let me just see if I could, yeah, here you go. And you just kind of plasticize on one side and felt on the other, and you can cut them out to fit whatever drawer you want, and that's it. That's I've got all my, these are all my Kegeloo pens here, And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 on each, no, 9 on each. So plenty of room there. And as you could see, I've also, on this particular, I've marked with labels the pens that I have in each. I have my Pen BBS pens here, some of the cheaper Jinao pens, TWSBI pens are here. Pen BBS, I have like 3 drawers. Some of the Noodler pens here. So that's my big box, and I have about 3 of these boxes. These I also bought, I think, on Amazon. They're a little more expensive, but they're very, very durable, and of course a little heavier than the other ones. Okay, so that's that. Now I've got another box which is, again, even less expensive. Not as, the finishing is not as great. I think I bought these on Etsy again, but they're not as well finished. But there again, look at that. You can fit in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pens. They're a little bit restricted in terms of length. So this is, you can't put some of the bigger pens. They go in, here, just on the side, they go in, but they're a little looser. The finishing is not as great, but still do the trick. And he's got a little label, contraption here that you can put labels in here if you want to identify what pens you have in there. But again, not expensive, a more affordable option, and you can pile these things up as many as you want. You'll find this on Etsy. Again, I will try to get a link for you for all of these boxes. Bear with me a second. Another option, again, this is Etsy. I actually got the name of my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy, with a nice nib, which is a really nice touch. Open it up. Now, the disadvantage with this one is they're kind of very thin slots, if you will, and you're limited because there's kind of wood that separates the two. Also limited in size, but I got to tell you, you can fit. The top one is a drawer that opens. The other ones are drawers. So there you have it. Just to give you an idea of the length, let me see if I could take one that gives you a standard length or identifiable pen, because I have some of my, this is a huge pen and it fits in there. You can see this is my Narwhal original and it fits in there really nicely. So it's not a problem, but it's a little tight on some of the pens that are a little bit thicker. But this again is not very expensive. You can get this on Etsy, and you can get some with a transparent acrylic top, and some. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots, if you will, but you can get them with 10, even bigger. Again, maybe the finishing is not to the liking of everyone, but it's an inexpensive, it's a good box, it's built properly. But like I said, some of the thicker pens won't fit in here. So that's another box that I wanted to show you. Another option is this box. Okay, now this box is a mixture of cardboard and very cheap wood, but covered in this kind of fake leather. I got this really cheap, but I haven't been able to find any since. I think I paid this like $45 Canadian on Amazon. The beauty of this is that it's really big. Look at that. I mean, and in terms of, look, these are my deltas. Okay, these are my all my delta pens, or some of my delta pens, and they're all very big pens. And I have no problem. You can fit in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pens in here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. So automatically I got 2 of these and I've got 100 pens. Roughly. I mean, like this one is missing a few because they're Delta. They're all over the place. These ones are some of my Italian pens are all in here. Or some of the Italian pens that I have. Here I've got my more Italian pens. Okay. In this one here, I have all my Ranga pens. And you know, these Rangas, oh yeah, I wanted to show you. I mean, this is like the big, huge. I mean, this is over 7 inches. And as you can see, not a problem. A little thick because of those slots that you can buy, and I'll show you where you get them. And you can buy them big, you know, a big square, cut them in 2, and you're all set. So there you have my Ranga pens. In here, I think I got some more Indian pens. So this is a really nice one. You got to look up. It's really meant to be a jewelry box. You remove the interior guts that are meant really more for rings and that sort of thing, and replace them by those slotted material for pens. You cut them out and you got it. I think if you look up jewelry boxes in Amazon, on a Wayfair, or even in AliExpress or Etsy, you might find it. But if you see it for $50, I can tell you folks, it's really worth your while. So there you have it. This one is probably one of my favorite because I could really store a lot of pens in that box. So there you have it. I hope you can see some of the cases in the background there, also there on the shelves. I hope that gives you kind of an idea of how I store my pens. I think I haven't found one spot for them yet. What I plan to do, I think, in the future is have them all behind me. But I've got a combination. I'm also a card collector, so I collect hockey cards, and they're not too far away from me because that's another hobby that I really enjoy. And you can see some of the hockey paraphernalia in the background. But I think I want to reorganize my back, you know, just the back of my setting here, because I have like 3 working stations. I have 2 filming stations. I have this main station. That's my 3rd. And then I have my editing station, and I have my ink station. So I have 5 different stations. And one day we'll show you all those stations with all my camera equipment and how I do my videos and how I do my this taping here. And maybe I'll show you my entire setup of my entire basement studio here, which I really enjoy. This is my kind of my cave, so to speak. So there you have it. I hope that helps. You'll get all the links in the description should you need to look into them. Hopefully you can find them at good prices, and that's the way I store my pen, folks. So there you have it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed all of this. Another recap is gone. Hopefully I've stuck to my 1-hour limit. If not, I apologize. Stay tuned. Got some videos coming up. Hopefully those 2 Dieman novelties are coming in next week. If so, I'm going to interrupt my regular reviews that I've already planned, because I really would like to get those 2 out to you as quickly as possible. I've got my Italian pens that I've promised you at least once a month. There's going to be one of those as well. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. A lot of you, 50% of you watch but don't subscribe. Really appreciate. Just click on that button and it'll be great. If you like it, please, lots of likes. So enjoy your pens. Enjoy your week. Grazie molto. Arrivederci a tutti. Ciao.